Minasan, konbankumo! Welcome back to another Spider Talk episode! Today, let's discuss the differences between New World tarantulas and Old World tarantulas, along with some facts about tarantulas in general. When I had first heard about New World versus Old World, I thought it meant that one was around longer than the other, but that's not what it is. Basically, New World tarantulas tend to come from the western side of the world, so Canada, the US, South America, and Mexico. While Old Worlds come from the eastern side, Asia, Africa, Europe, the Middle East, and Australia. Now let's get into some of the similarities between these tarantulas. Something that both Old World and New World share are obviously their body type. They all have 8 legs, a cephalothorax, an abdomen, chelicerae, and fangs. Also, both New Worlds and Old Worlds have really bad vision. Tarantulas are practically blind, so they navigate through touch. People with a fear of spiders always see tarantulas and panic. I mean, who wouldn't? They're big, scary-looking predators, right? Well, you'd be wrong. Tarantulas are actually more like prey. Tarantulas are constantly at risk of being eaten by things like birds, snakes, big lizards, and even a damn wasp called the tarantula hawk. Some people ask, well, why do tarantulas run after me? I've heard this from a couple of my friends who had an experience with tarantulas kind of charging at them. Well, it's actually due to a misunderstanding. Tarantulas are very easily threatened, so they will try to hide due to their bad eyesight. They will perceive things like shadows or even people to be hiding spots, somewhere to keep them safe. This happens a lot with my own tarantulas. If I place my hand above them and create a shadow, they will stop moving because they believe that they are now safe and hidden. So don't worry, you're not being chased because they want to hurt you, they simply think you're a cave to hide in. Tarantulas may seem big and scary, but they are actually very, very fragile. A full-grown tarantula's abdomen is basically like a water balloon. It's full of all their primary organs. Even a fall from 1 foot is enough to burst their abdomen and kill them. One way I got over my fear of tarantulas was realizing that these guys aren't trying to be big and scary, they're fragile prey who are just trying to survive another day. And if I can help them live one more day, then that's enough for me. Now, let's get into their differences. We already discussed where New Worlds and Old Worlds come from, but let's now discuss their different quirks. So New World tarantulas have a less potent venom compared to a bee sting. Though the side effects are a bit scarier than others, a bite can cause muscle spasms, edema, and circulatory shock, among a couple others. But none of these are lethal, so it would suck to be bit by one, but it will not kill you. New World tarantulas are a bit slower than Old Worlds, and New Worlds have a second defense mechanism due to their lack of potent venom, this being urticating hairs. Urticating hairs are small, barbed hairs that can get embedded in the skin, eyes, nose, mouth, and even your throat if you breathe it in. New World tarantulas will kick these hairs off of their abdomens, creating a cloud of these hairs. They do this in the hopes of debilitating a predator. There are 7 different kinds of urticating hairs. I'll probably make a video going into depth about these another time, but this is why I always tell people that the famous people who use tarantulas as props, putting the tarantulas on their face and such, are stupid. One kickoff, and that cloud of urticating hairs is straight in your face. Always keep a New World tarantula away from your face. Now, moving on to Old World tarantulas. Old World tarantulas possess a much more potent venom, more similar to a wasp sting. It can cause pain, nausea, vomiting, muscle spasms, cramping, fever, heart palpitations, and trouble breathing. This can last from a few hours to even a few days. Still, though, their venom is not lethal. Old World tarantulas are much faster than New Worlds. It's one of their greatest strengths, being able to run super quickly to escape prey by running off to a hiding space within seconds. Old World tarantulas do not have urticating hairs. They rely on their venom and their speed. Old World tarantulas also tend to have a more defensive personality than New Worlds. That's not to say that New Worlds can't also be brats. Trust me, they can. But you'll usually see more docile New World tarantulas rather than Old Worlds. New tarantula owners will usually have New World tarantulas, I can't talk today, blah, 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 and more docile species like the Arizona blonde, Brazilian black, and even rose hares. While experienced owners love to have all different kinds, New Worlds and Old Worlds. My favorite tarantula personally is the Goody Sapphire, an arboreal Old World tarantula. Now here's the big question. Are they dangerous? My answer will be approach with caution. These spiders won't kill you, but they can give you a nasty bite that isn't very fun to deal with. If you find a tarantula in the wild, just leave it be. If you find one in your house, use some sort of long item like a stick, paintbrush handle, or even a brush handle to tap them gently into a container and then gently put them outside. These spiders are very misunderstood. They aren't out to get you, they're just out to survive. So it's best to try and see where they're coming from. Thank you, again, for joining me for today's spider talk. I hope you will someday love spiders like I do. Thank you.